Hey, good evening. Oh, it's about 7:50. Excuse me, p.m. here in Youngstown, Ohio, and want to do a shop card shout out and a little update on some things. This comes from Joe over at Big Sky Model Workshop in the beautiful state of Montana. It's a beautiful backdrop. I actually did a little bit of a map search and around the town, and I could see this pretty much the same view, except I didn't see this street, but saw a similar view. I just zoomed in and did street view, and I could see that mountain range in the background. Very beautiful state and town and everything, but some very cool builds on his card. And from one Joe to another, thank you, sir. Yep. So yeah, I got that today in the mail, and I got this in the mail, which, God, I've been reading other people having mail issues too lately. They're really slow. This was in town the other day, and well, not in town. It was in Warrendale / Pittsburgh, PA, which usually means the next morning it's here. Well, it wasn't. And then they said this morning it wasn't supposed to be here till Saturday. And then I got a notification on my way home from work that it's been delivered. It's in my P.O. box. I'm like, my post office closes at 5. I mean, it was after 5 when I got the notification. So, usually it's delayed anyhow, but apparently I got it today. I think this is SMJ Resins, a 6-pack scoop. Now, I've already cleared out. It had quite a bit of flash over the openings. I got to perfect it a little bit more. It's crooked, as you can see. So I got to clean that up a little bit, with a knife and a file. But it was totally sealed over when I got it. So I broke out the, the light stuff, but it's got to be, right there you can see it's got to be leveled out and cleaned up. And then this was add flash out to here. So I shaved that off. So that's the scoop that's going to go right here on the Roadrunner for the Street Machine Group build. And as you can see there, I got the grill detailed out. Did that yesterday. This hood has a slight warp to it, but I can clean that up a little bit too. And I'm going to paint it like a flat black or a semi-flat black. Keep forgetting that chassis is not done yet. Maybe I'll get a little bit done tonight. I haven't done much the past few nights. And I got this one, and I got the Snap Kit group build to get done too. And that's the 28th. So I don't have a lot of time to do these. And of course I got holiday stuff going on here and all kinds of good, happy horse crap. I got that, and what else am I working on here? Let's take a look. I took some stuff to work, but man, we have been hammered busy. So I really can't get much done. I mean, I get a little bit done before I clock in, but then the rest of the day we've been swamped. So we're probably going to be busy. But I did these little puppies. These are the tuned die-cast, little 164s. This was, well, it looked like this. So I stripped it and painted it yellow. It'll get cleared. Now the only thing is the tail lights, as you can see, they're not 3D. They're just tampoed on there. So I'm going to have to use some really careful painting, or I'm going to have to use some, like side marker decals, which I have plenty of. Something in a similar shape. It's a cartoon car anyhow. Just, put a decal back there. And then everything else, I could do the window trim and put the grill on. And then I did the Camaro. It was primer with flames, so now it's orange. So it'll get some details, the headlights, well, the grills are separate, the bumper, but I'll paint the tail lights and the window trim, these little marker lights, and put it back together for fun. That's just something I'm kind of working on in between other things. And then this is another slot car body I started messing with. I got to put more decals on it and do the trim, and it's going to be one of those shop trucks, but a patina shop truck. Not totally rusty because more or less just faded with some primer spots and a little bit more dirtied up. I got to do all the trim and stuff, but yeah, just messing with that, and that's about it. Haven't done too much more this week. I did a little bit here, I'll say. I did I got these Mickey Thompson Hemi valve covers for the Street Machine. These were in white resin. I put the tester's chrome over them. It kind of fish-eyed a little bit. I probably should have prepped them better. So I got another set, plus I got more on the way. And I'm probably going to like dull them down a little bit and try to detail them. We'll see which set comes out the best. You know, I like to put those on that engine here. But those carbs do look good though. But yeah, I got more to do on that. So whether this all gets done or not, I don't know. But yeah, I shall see. But that's about it. And just working on little things like that. Yeah, because here's the other set of those valve covers I didn't paint yet. You know, I probably should have cleaned them with some Wesley's or something. But yeah, I might just paint over those flat black and maybe rub the chrome off. I don't know. I'm also thinking maybe just bare metal the finned area, then paint it black and rub it off. I like them to be flat black with just the raised areas, you know, bright. But yeah, this thing here, a few more decals yet. There's a couple more lettering to go on it. It did say Troy, Michigan under here. And I would have left it too, except on the one decal, I think it was this side in fact, maybe the other side. As soon as it hit the water, the Troy, Michigan flipped upwards, inside out, all on top of this. And then the whole decal tried to curl. I'm like, really? So I kept it soaking wet, and I laid it on here, and I took a toothpick real gently, and I tried to fold it back over. And for the most part, it kind of did. But the part that said Troy just totally ripped off. So I just took an X-Acto and just sliced off the location. It'll just be without the name. You know, the city and state. Just got rid of it. Yeah, I mean, all the other decals laid down. Just that one went a little bit odd. But that'll be pretty cool. That's basically sold already too. So I got a few slot car bodies going at one time here. In between everything else. Kind of make a little extra cash to make up for all the money I'm spending on Christmas. Oh yeah, wait a minute. We got stash ads. We have stash ads. Stash ads we have. Yes, we have stash ads. And what does Joe have in the stash ads? Even though Joe didn't really need this, Joe bought this. Now, by what I read or have read on the instructions and on the side of the box, this is basically the same thing as the 69. In the real world, the only thing that was done to these things was the black stripes on the hood scoops, and they added a chin spoiler. I guess back then, in the later 60s, even though they were Shelbys, Ford made them. They were all Ford with the Shelby name. They weren't made by Shelby America. And I guess there were a bunch of these left over in 69, and they gave them new VIN numbers. And it says on the box here, supervised by the FBI. They gave them new VIN numbers and sold them as 70s. And the only thing that, like I said, they added was the black stripes on the scoops and the chin spoiler. So, yeah, this is identical to the 69 kit. So if you have the old Revell monogram, whatever it was called at the time, Shelby kit in 69, this is basically the same kit. In fact, it's got the Super Trick mags in here. The only thing different about this kit than the old one is it has a lot more decals. I mean, it has different color options, and it has all the decals for the engine, all the interior decals, and all that good stuff. You know, all those, the gauges and the all the under hood stuff. It's all here now. I see it has these Super Trick. Somebody painted them here with the old fangs, and it has the optional blower and all that, or the high rise. Yeah, so it's basically the same as the 69 kit. So if you have that old kit, yeah, it's the same thing. But I got it anyhow. And yes, I managed to get one of these. I'll definitely be buying more of these. I got this one from Andrews. He posted that he had them the other day, and I was on lunch hour. I said, oh, my luck, they'll be gone by the time I get there. He goes, I'll hold one for you. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So yeah, I went up after work and got one. I'll be buying one from Boardman too, though, because I always buy from Tom at Boardman. As long as Tom's around and still in business, I'm buying there. So probably this weekend, as long as he has them, yeah, I'll definitely be picking one up. And you know, if he doesn't have it this weekend, I'll get it. Oh, excuse me. As soon as he gets his shipment in, it is a cool looking kit. Other people have opened them, so I'm not going to do that. But yeah, it's got like 2 instruction sheets in it. One's basically for the truck, and then the other one's basically for the wrecker body. And it shows all the color options. I'm like, damn, did Ford make a lot of color options back then? You know, cars today have like, you know, 8 options or 6 options. This thing had like, God knows how many. It had a ton of different colors. So, yeah, and the funky thing about this is the size of this box. You can see how big it is. Let me come back. Yeah, look at that. It's like and you know what? It's still tough to get everything in there. When I took it out, I laid it out, each sprue and every part upside down on my bench and stacked them to figure this way it'd go back in the box easier. It still fought me. So it's like, holy crap, Mobius. Yeah, because there's parts in here you're not going to use, of course, because you know Mobius. They leave stuff on the sprue from previous, you know, versions of these trucks. So you got extra, you know, lenses and taillights, and I think there's some other stuff in there that you're not going to use. But it seems like a pretty cool kit. Someday, ha ha ha, I don't know when. Oh, excuse me. I'll get to it. I just don't know when. And then nice thing about, I'll probably buy more of these because, I mean, for the wrecker body alone, I can see that going on a Chevy and going on a Dodge. I'd like to have one of each someday. The only thing I would say, though, if you're going to put this body on another thing, unless you really care about the underside, you want to do it on something that has a separate frame, an open frame, because it has the whole power takeoff, you know, the PTO and everything, the drive for the winch. And if you have one of those, you know, you use a truck kit that has the plate underneath it, well, unless you cut it out and do a lot of modification, it's going to be really hard to use. Excuse me again. God, I'm so damn tired today. My work's been whipping my butt this week. But yeah, I mean, this record body is really detailed. So there's a lot of options there to put that on you know, you got to lengthen out the frame a little bit maybe, or they tell you to cut some of the frame off, because tow trucks, typically the rear wheels were as located as far rearward as possible. That's the thing about a lot of tow truck kits. In the past, they had a lot of overhang here, which real tow trucks don't, because if you have the wheels too far forward and your towing boom way out here, you're going to be pulling front wheels constantly. So, yeah, this is, if you're going to modify to another kit, you know, you may have to lengthen the frame on some, or relocate the axle back or something. This is beautiful, though. I mean, it's got the heavy-duty leaf springs and all that stuff, so... Yeah, I imagine this, we're going to be seeing a lot of these, and I mean a lot of these, and a lot of these tow bodies on other brand trucks in years, on the contest tables. Excuse me again, I'm so sorry, damn. Well, I got to bed a little later last night than I planned, and I woke up a little bit early before the damn alarm and really couldn't get totally back to sleep. And I hate when that happens. Now, tomorrow morning, if I want to, I get sleep in. we're working on a truck at work right now, and what the customer wants, he's got a dually ram. He wants the LEDs under the rocker panel here. Now, the only thing about the truck we're working on, somebody rebuilt both the rocker panels because they were rotted out. And they did a fairly decent job. The only problem is we put running boards on the bars, and luckily we got the ones that mount to the body mounts, and only the reinforcement braces that come up go to the inner rockers. Well, on the one side, the factory hole was there, and they give you these bolt plates. They got a little bolt sticking off a welded plate, and you wiggle it into the hole like a toggle, and that holds that one on. And the rear hole was covered about halfway with the new sheet metal. But I was able to take some pliers and pry it down and get that in there. And it worked. But on this side, someone put new sheet metal all over because there's holes on the inside of the rocker panel. And that's where you put the braces. Well, they put over the holes, so I just have to use self-tappers. But when they rebuilt the pinch weld in the rocker area, on the one side they used perfectly square tubing. And so it's flat here, and it's flat going up. On the other side, they use like some angle-looking tubing, and so now it's like this. Now when we put what we have to do is we're going to get some aluminum. I tried to get some plastic. I really did. I wanted to get like a 8-foot piece of plastic. It is a double cab, and they want to go back almost to the rear wheel. And I wanted to get some angled plastic, and there's Baker Plastics in Youngstown. I went down there yesterday on company time. I ran down in the afternoon, and there was a vehicle in the parking lot. The lights were on, but the door was locked, and nobody came. So I ran over to Star Supply, which is those from Youngstown know what it is. It's basically a warehouse full of weird stuff. There's hardware, there's construction stuff, there's sheet metal, there's iron, there's aluminum. And so I went in and I found this aluminum channel, L-shaped. And they sell it in different various lengths. I think they'll even cut it for you if you want. And I wasn't sure if we'd want to go with aluminum, so I get back to the shop and Tom goes, yeah, aluminum will work. And my boss ran out today to go get something else, and he was supposed to stop down there. And he gets back and he goes, hey, do we have the stuff for this truck? I'm like, you were the one out. He goes, oh, yeah, I was. I'm like, yeah. Why didn't you stop in there? He goes, I kind of forgot. I'm like, oh. Well, I said, they close in 10 minutes. I don't even have time to run there now. Because this is like 10 to 4. I'm like, oh, I'll tell you what. I said, I'll stop in. I'll be a little bit late tomorrow. I normally start at 8, but they open at 8, so I'll just be there as soon as they open, run in, and I'll get a couple lengths of it. If they'll cut it, great. If not, then I'll have to either get 2 very long lengths or get maybe 4 4-footers and put like have the one overhang here or put them together. I'll see what they have, but I'll have to pick up enough to do the job. So what we have to do then is take that aluminum channel, and since we have to have a space from the cab to a little bit on the bed, we gotta like lay them down on the floor, figure the spacing, drill them all. He wants 8 LEDs per side, and then drill them out. Then we gotta paint them and let them dry. So I'm gonna pick up some paint in the morning too. Hopefully a fast drying paint, because the paint we have is good paint, but it takes 8-9 hours to dry, and it's still tacky. So we're gonna have to get something. And while I work on the remote start, Tom could lay out the holes, drill them, sand it, prep it, lay some paint on, let it dry. Then I'll wire the lights on a stand, and then we'll screw it up underneath the rocker panel and wire it up. It's just so time consuming. We did one today. We did a newer Ford pickup. It has that lower valance spoiler thing, that rubber plastic thing. I put 6 LEDs in there. Now, what's so time consuming is first is measuring it out so they're evenly spaced. And I'm so bad at the math, if I have, let's say it's, 5 feet wide and I get 8 lights, you can't just divide it by 8. You have to I forgot what the formula is, but I kind of eyeballed it. I put one in either end. And then I kind of I said, okay, well, they'll look good here, here, and here. So I kind of just measured it out until I got them where I wanted them. And I came to like 14 1/4 inches was pretty close between the lights. So I measure out the holes. But the thing is, though, it wasn't flat across the bottom. It was contoured. Like it was higher here and went up and then back down. So when I measured the lights up from the bottom, I had to make sure, not to follow that contour here, because then the lights would be off. I had to like follow it here, a pretend line. And then of course the thing wasn't perfectly straight. It had a contour to it too. So I had to find the ideal place to put them. Then you got to daisy chain them all together. You got 2 wires on each. So you get 2, and then you can put, some butt connectors here. And I used the shrink tube ones. Put it in the split loom conduit. Loop it over something up here so it doesn't hang down to the next one. Now you got to do 2 lights into that one. And you know what I mean? Leapfrog it all the way over and then up to the parking lights. Well, this is going to be real fun. 8 of them. Oh my God. So, with 2 wires apiece, that's 16 butt connectors per side. Plus, you got to get the wires up to the parking lights. We did one a few months ago. It was like 12 lights per side. Oh my God. We were there till like 7:30. I think it was like 7:30 or later that night getting that thing done. It was so tedious. It's not backbreaking work. It's not sweaty. It's just tedious as all hell. So like I said, tomorrow, once we have them drilled and painted, I'll do the lights on the stand. I'll just chain them together. It'll be a lot easier than being cramped underneath it doing it. And then, the only 2 we'll have to run off of it is the 2 going toward the parking lights. But yeah, that's going to be a long day. I'm not looking forward to it. I don't know why we even take cornball jobs like that, but we make some money on it, but I don't think we make enough for what it's worth. For the amount of time we're going to have into that piece of crap. Holy crap, speaking of crap, it's 22 minutes. If you're still here, thank you very much. If you haven't got bored and, ate a bullet by now. So anyhow. Oh yeah, I'll show you one more thing here. When I do these slot car bodies, sometimes you have to use spacers in here. Because even though this has pins, this bed and body, it kind of, since it's not sitting on its own frame, it kind of sits crooked. So I put sheet plastic in there to, make it sit level. And I get these little plastic nuts and bolts, these little screws here, as you can see, and I cut it flush. And I just drill that out. Sometimes I'll drill 2. And then besides gluing it together, I'll screw it together. Only because it's a slot car body and it's going to take a lot of beating. So that helps reinforce everything. But yeah, that's a little trick there I do on these. What I could do, if I wanted to, and I did one time, I took some vice grips and I clamped the body together and made sure it was perfectly level. And I can't find them now. I normally have some really long drill bits. They're like a foot long or more. And some trucks, you have an open grill here, some you don't. Or the tailgate's off. It's preferable if you can go perfectly straight. But what I'll do is I'll drill 2 holes while it's clamped together. I'll put the screws in, then I'll take the vice grips off. And what that allowed me to do a few years ago, I did a body for a guy, and I did both beds. I did a step side bed to a Chevy truck, and I did the fleet side bed. And by screwing them together with those little plastic screws, it allowed him to change it up anytime he wanted. If he wanted a step side, he had one. If he wanted the fleet side, he had one. Because I painted them identically and weathered them. And yeah, so if you do slot car bodies, there's a little thing you could do on them. And of course, you got to take some of this out, because you want the chassis bars to sit as high as possible so the body can hunker down. But anyhow, hey, I've probably bored you long enough, and I am going to go take a shower and then work on this stuff a little bit more and then chill for the night. And maybe sleep in tomorrow a little bit. Because I can't leave here until, I don't know, 7:45, 7:40-ish. So I could be down Star Supply when they open. And so I think I might set the alarm a little bit later tomorrow. But anyhow, yeah, so, hey, again, thank you, and shout out to Joe at Big Sky. They're in a beautiful state of Montana. And I am going to go chill. So, hey, from me and, hold on. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun. Deuce, of course, he's here. Because where else would he be? Wherever I am at, he's at pretty much. So from me and Deuce, we say good night and have a good one. Talk to you later. I'm going to go do whatever. Bye-bye.